What's going on, guys and girls? We're here playing some more Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to complete all the mission tasks for mission 20, which is called Voices. So in this mission there are 6 mission tasks to complete. We are going to be completing them all in a single playthrough. You guys don't have to do that if you don't want to, so if you've only got 1 or 2 that you need to complete, you can feel free to use the timestamps in the description to jump to those mission tasks as I do them. So what we're going to be doing first is we're going to be getting the intel file that is located right there inside the tent there. There are a few guards around the area, so you want to make sure that you don't get spotted by them. And we're also going to be S-ranking this mission as we play through it. So as we're just being dropped down, I'm just going to explain to you a couple of things. We are using D-Dog for this mission. The reason for that is he is very good at spotting enemies, if you didn't already know that. And then there's the other thing we're going to be using is this Jeep, and that's just going to help us get from A to B very, very quickly. So there's nothing special about the gear that I'm taking in. I'm just taking in the normal gear that I usually take in. You don't need anything special for this mission. If you wanted to, you can take the water pistol. That will give you a little bit of a little giggle at the end when you try and take the man of fire out with a water pistol. It doesn't actually work at all. Ocelot will actually tell you that you need more water to get rid of them. So what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be heading into the mission area. So we're heading towards the intel file, and you just want to drive along here. We're also doing this at night. The reason for that is it just makes it a little bit easier to sneak around some of these guards so you don't actually get spotted, because their vision is impaired because it is at night, and it does also hurt your vision a little bit, but once you have upgraded a few things, it just makes it a little bit easier. We're also going to be using our night vision, so that is probably something that you want to make sure that you've got, and especially if you have it upgraded a lot more, it makes it a little bit easier to use your night vision later on. We're not going to be using it for now, we're just going to be continuing on. We are going to be using the cardboard box. The reason for this, you don't have to actually use this, I'm just going to be using it because, number one, it is hilarious to use and I barely ever used it, and so I just want to start using it a little bit more. And the other reason is it actually helps out, especially if you use the right one. So this one, we have got the forest cardboard box, and that is going to allow us to sneak around these guys a little bit easier. So as you can see, we can stay around 40 meters away. You can actually get a little bit closer, but if you go in direct line of sight, it's a safe distance, about 40 meters, so you don't get spotted. But if they are not looking directly at you, then you can definitely get a lot closer before they'll even consider looking towards you. And if you're using the cardboard box, the other thing is you can actually dive out of it. So if someone spots it and they get curious about it and start coming towards you, what you can do is you can just use the dive button and dive outside of it and leave the box there. They will investigate the box and wonder what's going on, and you can just keep crawling away and not be spotted. So as you can see, we're just entering the tent now. So we're just going to get in here and collect the intel file that's sitting on the desk. Just make sure you don't stand on the desk. So if you stand up, it just makes it a bit easier so you don't end up walking all over the desk. And so you can pick it up. And as you can see, there's the little cutscene that you can always skip if you don't want to watch it. So there we go. We're just going to show you that where it is again if you've just skipped a little bit forward ahead and you didn't see the first the map. And now what we're going to do is we are going to wait for a second guard. So there's going to be another guard that arrives in a truck, a transport truck. He is going to be the guard that you have to listen to be able to get the conversation. Now it does only say one conversation, but a lot of people have been talking about you need to get more than one conversation. You have to wait for this guy to get to the point where he will have the conversation. So you might as well listen to them all, just in case it does only take, just in case you need to listen to them all instead of just the one. The mission task only says listen to one conversation, but this guy has 3 conversations, and once he starts the 3rd conversation, that's when you will unlock the mission task and you should be able to move on. So this is the guy that I was talking about just before. We're going to head over towards him. We're using the cardboard box a little bit more. This is just too funny. This always cracks me up. And we're also just making sure we don't get spotted by the spotlight. So this guy up on the tower, he's just using the spotlight. You just want to make sure as soon as he's getting pretty close to you with the light, then all you need to do is just stop and he will just continue on with his searching. He won't even think twice about the random cardboard box with a little bit of camouflage on it. And you also just want to make sure about the guy who's walking away from his truck. He can, if you get too close to him, he will come in to investigate the box, and then that could end up stopping him from having all of his conversations, because if he doesn't get to certain points at certain times, he might not have all of his conversations. Usually he still does, but sometimes, you know, the conversations in this game are a little bit iffy, so you want to make sure that you don't do anything to disturb his track. So what we're doing now is we're just waiting for a good time to jump in the back of this guy's truck so the spotlight guy doesn't see me, and so that we can listen to the conversation. This is a good spot to listen to the conversation because you don't get spotted by the spotlight guy, and you won't be spotted by anyone who's walking around outside of the camp. So we just have to wait for this guy to get over there. He is a new guard, and that is basically going to be the conversation. So I'll allow you guys to listen to the conversation, and I won't talk over top of it, so that you guys can hear it if you want to. So he's just about to get there, so I'm just going to stop talking now so you guys can hear the conversation.
Jou nog hier van tevore gesien? Is jy nie?
Ja, ek vervoer rantsoene. Is die rivier oorwagpos daarvoor?
Ja, maar jy kan nie by die rivier uitkom met 'n voertuig nie.
So is dit waar dat die laaste bestede daar dood is.
Wat? Nee.
Moet ek bekommerd wees oor al daai verkoorde lyke by die stasie?
Genoeg vrae. Beheer heeltyd op die slagveld. Die padkaarts in daai tent. Jy beter dit goed bestudeer.
Ja, meneer.
So there we go, that's the conversation, the first conversation. You do need to listen to 3, I believe. I don't know exactly if you need to listen to 3. I didn't actually try just listening to the last one, because I know the last one is when you earn the mission task, but you have to wait for this guy anyway, just like I said before, so you might as well listen to as many of the conversations as you can. Now I'm just going to wait in the back of here. You can just sit here or lie down and you won't be spotted. I'm just going to use the cardboard box and just sit in here because that is just absolutely hilarious. I barely even use the cardboard box, and I just want to use it out a bit more. I was like, oh, I could just use the cardboard box in this mission. Try it out, use it a bit more. And so the guy inside, I don't know what happened there. Something just happened and it flew off me. I don't know what I did. The guy that just had the conversation, and the guy you have to follow, he is just currently looking at the intel file that you were at. So just make sure that when you get to the intel file, make sure he's not in there studying it. Otherwise, you could run into a bit of trouble. So we're now just waiting for him to arrive back at his transport truck. So it does take him a little while. He does end up jogging a little bit more once he gets out of the tent. So as you can see, he travels a bit faster than when he first arrived, and we just have to wait for him. And then what he will do is he will drive the transport truck to the next little security area, so that will be the next guard post that is just before the main conversation area. So what we want to do is we just if we could just stay in the back of the Jeep or the truck. You don't have to stay in the back of this transport truck. You can just end up walking down the area or listen to the conversation in a different spot. This is just where I decided to do it, and because he's going to drive the transport truck anyway, you might as well just catch a ride, and it's just a little bit easier. So as you can see, he's just on his way. The light guy is still looking around, so you just want to make sure you don't get spotted. If you're using the cardboard box, or if you just duck down in here, you definitely won't be spotted by anyone. And the guy is just about to jump inside his truck, so we'll just have a look and see what he's doing. If you do hear, when he starts reversing, a bit of a clunking sound, don't worry, that is just D-horse or D-dog being run over. It doesn't sound too good, but he is completely and utterly invincible, so we don't have to worry about that. I don't think it ended up happening this time I played through this level, but when I was doing it a couple of times to make sure I was getting all of the mission tasks, I was like, what is that sound when he was reversing? It's like a clunk, 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 and it was just D-horse getting run over and over and over because it's D-horse, or D-dog. I keep calling him D-horse. It was a D-dog, just keep getting run over. This time he does end up getting out of the way, but it does kind of distract this driver a little bit because D-dog does get in front of him, but it doesn't really matter because he will just continue on with his driving, and he won't really worry about D-dog being in the way because D-dog will eventually get out of the way. Because as you can see, D-dog's trying to follow us, and he's just going to be right in front of this guy. And I think that's why he just keeps reversing a little bit further than I think he usually would. And once he gets into the right position, he should start going forward, and you'll be absolutely fine. Now, one time when I did this guy ran over one of his own troops, and then they were all on alert because they thought someone like me was in the area and had killed someone, even though it was clearly the guy who was driving the transport truck ran him over. So you just want to look out for that. Hopefully that doesn't happen when you were doing it. That was one of the times when I did distract the driver for a little bit, and he went to investigate my cardboard box, and then he just continued on. He did do the first conversation, but then he didn't do the third conversation. He only did the first and second one. So you just have to watch out for that. Just make sure that that doesn't happen to you guys. So as we're just traveling along here, D-Dog is going to be chasing behind us. He will not be left behind. He's an awesome buddy to have with us. And what we're going to do is we will eventually arrive at the next outpost, which is just here, a little guard post. And what we're going to do is once this guy hops out of his transport truck, we're just going to hop out the back and listen to the conversation that they have right here. So at this conversation, they will basically talk about the fact that someone has left their post or a man down, and so what they need is another guard, and so this guy has to go and take someone's place. So what we're doing is we're just waiting. We have to get rid of the cardboard box so that we don't make too much noise as we get out. And then we're just going to lie down. And from here, you can actually just listen to the conversation under the transport truck. And it's very easy. So this is the location. So you can see that if you didn't know exactly where we were. If you didn't want to jump in the back of the transport truck and take a ride, you can just go to this point right here. So I'm just going to let you listen to the conversation if you want to.
Haka het nuwe instruksies vir jou. Verlig die wag vorentoe. Sy skof is verby en ons het 'n tekort aan mannekrag.
Verstaan. Waarna toe gaan ek?
Die wagpos voor die tonnel. Wanneer jy by die rivier oorwagpos kom, slaan koers die woud in.
Reg.
Hou jou oë oop. Die digte mis verdamp trend nooit. Dan's daar die stories oor hulle bose geeste. Duiwels wat fluister, vloek en wie weet wat als. Die laaste ou, hy is by die tonnel en kyk. Wees dit versigtig. Gaan nou.
Ja, meneer.
So there you go. Now what will happen is he's going to head towards the location of the third target, so third conversation. So what you want to do is that will take him quite a while to get there because he does walk quite slowly, especially once he gets into the foggy area because he gets quite scared. And so what you want to do is you just want to just follow him there without alerting him to your presence. This bit here, you can just walk around these two guys. You can just take them out and then move on, or you can just use the cardboard box to get around. And like I said before, if they do kind of spot you, make sure that if as long as you're far enough away and they spot the cardboard box, they won't be immediately alerted. They'll just come and investigate the box, and you can just jump out, like I said before, and just dive out the front and just crawl along the ground and keep moving along. So we're just going to keep using the box for a little bit longer just because of the comedic value of it. It's just so good. Can't believe how funny this game can be. And so unfortunately it does mean that you only have two kind of speeds when you're crawling along like this. So you've got the really slow and then the medium speed. So as you can see, we're just traveling along like this, and then it will just instantly drop down to this speed. I was trying to get kind of like an intermediate speed because otherwise you slowly fall behind him, and if you're going the other speed, the faster speed, you end up catching up to him. So you just have to wait around a little bit longer. Or you can just take the cardboard box off because it's no use to us anymore. Or you could stand up like this. I just never used the cardboard box, so just playing around with it in this mission was so funny to do. You can also add posters to the front, so if you find posters like other guards or calendar girls kind of thing, what you can do is you can just add them on the front, and then like the poster girl will just distract them and they'll be all googly eyed from it. And then also if you put a soldier on the front, the soldier is saluting, and so what they'll go is they'll look at it real strangely, and then they'll go, oh, and they'll salute it too. It's pretty funny. And you guys probably already know most of that about that, but if you didn't, then definitely give it a go because it's pretty good. We're just waiting for this guy to get to his next location. It is kind of boring at this point, so you guys can skip it if you probably wanted to. I'm just going to continue on. We just earned some more resources and leveled up our mother base. There is also the animal that you have to extract. It is the African wild dog, so it is located just up here. So as you can see, D-Dog's found a few enemies, and it also found the African wild dog, which is just up in the area just ahead of us. And as you can see, if we wait for after I've located all these guys, you will notice that he is just on front of us right there, and he's just going to be behind a little bit of rock. So if that's the location of him, you can also use your night vision, which I think I end up putting on a bit later on, just to help you spot some of these guys. So he is still behind this little rock. He is asleep. If you do get close enough to him, he will attack you, and then D-Dog can save you, or you can also save yourself. What we're just going to do is we're just going to tranquilize it. So this is the location of the wild dog, the wild African dog. So just in case you've skipped forward, you can definitely see exactly where we are in the mission. And what we're going to do is we're just going to have to remove the cardboard box so that we can tranquilize it. You can actually pop out the top of it and tranquilize it, but there's no need for the cardboard box anymore because we're going to have to sneak past these a bit more stealthily. So when you go to extract this dog, what you want to do is you want to make sure that there is no people really close to you. So if they are not looking directly at you, then you can usually extract things when they're about 30 meters away. But if they are any closer than that, then they will hear the Fulton extraction. And if they are looking directly at you, then they will definitely see the Fulton extraction. I'm using the wormhole one. You don't have to use that. You can use, I think, pretty much any Fulton device to do that. And so what we can do is we can just do that, and then you will have that mission task. So what we're doing now is we're just trying to sneak past here. The guy that is walking towards the next area is the guy we're still trying to follow, so you just want to make sure that you keep an eye on him. What you can do is you can place a marker on top of him so you make sure you don't lose sight of him. And we're just trying to get through it without being spotted and without getting any like combat alerts or anything like that, so that we can get S rank, because this is actually takes quite a while because of the fact we have to just walk, wait for these conversations to happen. If you were just trying to S rank it, what I recommend you do is just run through it, get to the end, beat the man on fire, and then you can just get out of there. And that is the fastest way to get through the mission, and also you'll just S rank it because of how quickly you did it. So what we are also doing is we are just going to have to sneak up, and we're going to have to take the guy out that is in front of us so we can get the conversation. So it's the guy who's not walking up, he's the guy that's posted just up here. So we're just going to have to wait for him to get past this guy so we don't end up alerting anyone and don't stop this final conversation. As you can see, we've already hit midnight and we started at 6 o'clock in the evening. So we've been in the mission for quite a while. It does take quite a while to get this conversation. And so that's why most people probably do miss it, is because of the fact that they don't realize how long you have to wait to find this guy. So that is where the third conversation is going to take place, just outside that tent, and you can just use your binoculars, or if you get close enough you can just listen to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to tranquilize this guy, and then we're going to get ourselves close enough so that we can then hear the conversation without having to use the binoculars. It's around, I'm not too sure how close you need to be before you can just hear it by yourself. I think it's under 30 meters, so we're currently at 20 something meters, and we can easily hear the conversation from this distance without using the binoculars, but you can still use the binoculars. And for me, as soon as I started listening to the start of the conversation, that is when I earned the mission task. So just keep listening to the conversation until it pops up, and it's like, oh, you've earned like mission 5 out of 6 or 6 out of 6. And as you can see, I have now earned all of those 3, and we've got 3 more to go, so we're just going to continue on. We're going to extract this guy. I think, no, we're not, because we didn't want to alert anyone, get a combat alert. So we're just going to sneak up and tranquilize these guys. They are standing next to a fire, so they're kind of a little bit blind, but they also could end up seeing you. And there is also a guard asleep in the tent, so you just want to make sure that he doesn't wake up and spot you. I am going to come into the tent just so that you guys can hear this. This is the PT radio, so if you've ever played or seen the video game PT, that is the same track that plays in the radio in PT. Now we do unfortunately wake this guy up, so we're going to have to be careful, and we also do run into the decoy. Try not to do that, because that could definitely get a combat alert. And once we have tranquilized him, we're just going to move on here. You can just dive under this area and that will let you continue on. And we're just going to run through the next section and skip all the cutscenes so that we can get to the man on fire very quickly. Once you get through this area and you have done the cutscenes, then you will earn the very top mission task, which is the main mission task for completing the level. So if you haven't got that one, then you probably haven't completed this level before, or you have a serious glitch, and I'm so sorry if that is the case. I hope no one comes to this video and expects me to help them with that, because that is unhelpable from my perspective. And so what we're going to do is we are just going to continue on. We are waiting for me to get to the cutscene, so you can skip ahead if you want, or you can just watch me run through this area. There are some crazy things that happens in this area. First of all, on the left, on the right hand side, you've got that body bag that moves. That freaked me out when I first saw that. And then you've got this crazy stuff going on in this area. So there are spoilers, of course. We are going through mission 20, so there are going to be some spoilers and some crazy stuff going on in this little area. We're also going to skip this cutscene. Now, when I skipped this cutscene, it did end up having to do a loading sequence. The reason for that is because, I don't know, maybe because I skipped the first one, it didn't have time to load everything that it needed. And so now it's deciding to load. Actually, it's loading before the cutscene, and then I have to skip it afterwards. So now we can skip this cutscene, and the man on fire is going to be right here, so we're going to have to run away so we don't get hurt. And it doesn't matter if he hurts you, we just have to get outside so that we can get to the next section and get the next mission task. So what you want to do is you just want to head towards the location that is being set in front of you. They're telling you to go through the tunnel to get out of here. You will not be able to get through the tunnel, obviously, because the man on fire will attack you and destroy the tunnel. So what you want to do is you just, once you get there, it will do a little bit of a sequence. The man on fire will be there, and you just want to head away from the area. This is when you want to get to a water tower. And what we're going to do is we're just going to shoot at him just to make sure we get his attention and he knows where we are, and he is going to chase us. So just make sure that he knows exactly where you are, and he is going to follow you. And we are going to head this way all the way up to the water tower because we want to get the water tower on top of him. Now this is one of the areas where you are going to need an explosive weapon, or either grenades or C4 or a rocket launcher. I didn't mention it at the start. I just completely forgot about that. So what I'm going to use is just going to use a grenade, and obviously you just, once he has arrived here, you just throw a grenade right there, and he will then be taken down temporarily because of the water, and you just want to get right on top of him and then call in a supply drop. So we just call in a supply drop as fast as we can, and that is how you hurt the floating boy. You can't actually hurt him with bullets. I have actually shot him a couple of times, but you will not get any mission task and you won't end up hurting him. But doing it like that, you will hurt him, and then you can just extract the man on fire, and it doesn't matter what extraction device you use, you will be able to extract him, but he will the extraction will always fail no matter what. And as you can see, I've now set all of the mission tasks complete, and I have also called in my helicopter for my escape so that I can also get the S rank as fast as I can. So now all we have to do is wait for the helicopter to arrive so that we can get out. So we've completed all mission tasks, and here is the helicopter now. And we will end up getting S rank, as I said before. So we will show you exactly all the points that I ended up getting, and you'll also see what are the bonus points for completing certain mission tasks. So every mission only has 2 tasks that will give you bonus points, and then it's also got all like the extra things that are always there, like getting headshots and perfect stealth and all that sort of stuff. So as we get out of here, we're just flying away in a helicopter. I'm just showing you the map. I don't know why. You don't really know about that. You probably already know exactly where you are. And there is a second water tower if you do fail the first time, so you can definitely use the second water tower to hit the boy on fire. And we are unlocking a few things, and then we will get all of the scoreboards. So as you can see, I get 139,000 points. You do need to get like the perfect stealth and all that sort of stuff if you are planning to listen to all the conversations and also try and get S rank. So it does take quite a while. So as you can see, 23 minutes and 35 seconds to complete this mission. And that's what I'm going to do for this video. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys have been able to unlock all of the mission tasks and get S rank. And now it's time for me to say see you guys and girls, and hopefully see you in the next video.